Welcome to Editorial Pointers. We'll help you find important pointers from the editorials to give you a perfect decoding for the civil services exam. It'll be handy for your prelims, mains and interview. So now quickly moving on to the editorials from today's Hindu. The first one, delaying the inevitable. The centre's relief to telecos can only be the first step in efforts to boost the stressed sector. So the government has come up with various new measures as far as the telecom sector is considered. So in that direction, the government has brought out relief cum reform package for the financially stressed telecom sector, though verily a step in the right direction is at best only likely to delay the inevitable. So the government has now introduced a 4-year moratorium on the payment of outstanding adjusted gross revenue and spectrum purchase dues for the telecom sector. The article also has a detailed analysis regarding the UK-based Vodafone and Idea Cellular merging and various recent issues related to the telecom sector. So have a good understanding about it, but the most important one among it being the 4-year moratorium. So the next article is extremely important for your exam, something related to AUKUS, that is the new security alliance by UK, Australia and the US. 3 is company. The Indo-Pacific would be better served by the broad strategic cooperation initiatives. So the US has partnered with UK and Australia as part of a new trilateral security agreement that ensures that there will be enduring freedom and openness in the Indo-Pacific region, particularly to address both the current strategic environment in the region and how it may evolve. Very, very important. So in addition to reading this article, make sure that you have a good understanding about all the countries in the Indo-Pacific regions, because when a new trilateral partnership is being signed, it has serious repercussions for all the countries in the Indo-Pacific region. So even in the map, try to find out all the important Indo-Pacific region countries. So when a new trilateral agreement is being signed, we should have a bare minimum understanding about similar arrangements in the earlier times, and the article mentions about the 5 Eyes Intelligence Cooperation Initiative, the ASEAN and the Quad. So you should be able to do a comparative analysis between the new trilateral agreement and the pre-existing ones. So as this article mentions about the similar agreements in the Indo-Pacific region, you should be able to have a clear-cut understanding and analysis about various agreements in the Indo-Pacific region, and you should be able to have a comparative analysis between them. So the article mentions something about the NPT, very, very important. Try to read more about the NPT. So when a new trilateral agreement has been signed between the 3 powerful countries, it has serious implications as far as China is considered. So the article mentioned that the formation of AUKUS poses serious threats to the regional hegemonic ambitions of China, particularly regarding how far the US, UK and Australia, along with other regional powers, will go to preserve a free and open Indo-Pacific, including the South China Sea. So as you all know, the South China Sea has been an area of dispute for many years. So when a new regional grouping has popped up, try to find out its repercussions as far as the existing disputes in South China Sea is considered. So the last statement in this editorial is very, very important. It can appear as a question for your mains as such. The imperatives of the Indo-Pacific would be better served by broadening strategic cooperation initiatives of this sort to include other powers that are deeply invested in this region, including India, Japan and South Korea. That's why I said when a new trilateral agreement is being signed, it affects not just the countries involved, but various other countries in the Indo-Pacific region will be affected either positively or negatively. So have a clear-cut analysis on your own. So the next article is related to the eShram portal. E-Shram needs some hard work to get going. The nuances of the unorganized worker's identity are complex, which portal registration may not be able to capture. So, this article addresses some of the serious limitations as far as the government's initiative of E-Shram portal is considered. On August 26th this year, the Ministry of Labour and Employment launched eShram, the web portal for creating a national database of unorganized workers. So, this portal was created with the intention to help the unorganized workers in this country, and it seeks to register an estimated 398 to 400 million unorganized workers to issue an eShram card. So, this article mentions something about the Unorganized Workers Social Security Act in 2008. So, try to find out what that act is all about. So, the government mentions that the unorganized sector workers are likely to benefit greatly by registering in the eShram portal during normal times and especially during the COVID pandemic. So, as far as the efficacy of the eShram portal, various concerns are being raised. One such is regarding the data security, and the another being the migrational issues, because many unorganized workers migrate from one state to another. So, issues related to migrational workers is very important. Another is regarding the exclusion of workers who are already covered by the EPF and ESI. They are likely to be excluded from the eShram portal. So, these are some of the serious issues as far as the implementation of eShram portal is considered. So, if you could identify more issues, well and good. Another issue that finds a mention is regarding the workers who work during the non-office hours. These include the Uber drivers and Swiggy personnel who work as delivery staff. So, this eShram portal is not likely to benefit workers who are working during non-office hours. So, the article says that by including a category called as miscellaneous category, such issues can be resolved to a great extent. Another limitation regarding the implementation of eShram portal is that the central government will have to depend on the state government for this project to be successful. So, data efficiency and data sufficiency is very important. So, the article also says that success of this project depends on the involvement of a variety of stakeholders apart from trade unions, massive and innovative dissemination exercise involving multiple media outlets of various languages. So, as I said earlier, when migration workers are considered, language issue is a serious barrier as far as the implementation of this portal is considered. So, you need to have a detailed account regarding what are the challenges ahead while implementing the eShram portal, and you should come out with plausible solutions of your own. So, the next article is related to economy. Building a resilient economy. Resilience at the national level can only be delivered through public investment. So, this is regarding the V-shaped recovery of Indian economy. The NSO had recently estimated that Indian economic growth had surged to 20.1% in the April-June quarter despite a devastating second wave of COVID. So, a very positive sign as far as the Indian economy is considered. So, this article mentions something about the Trade and Development Report 2021, yet another report that is being discussed today. That is the Trade and Development Report released by UNCTAD, UNCTAD. So, try to find out what are the parameters based on which the UNCTAD releases this report. So, the article also mentions that given the inherent fragilities, India's growth in 2021 as a whole is estimated at 7.2%, which is one of the fastest compared to most countries in the analysis, but still not sufficient to regain the pre-COVID income levels. So, the COVID pandemic has serious impacts as far as the economic recovery is considered. But in spite of all such limitations, the Indian economy is performing extremely well. So, try to find out what are the factors that attributed to the speedy recovery of Indian economy. So this article also mentions about various aspects which could foster a speedy recovery, which includes to revive and sustain growth, action is needed both at the national and international levels. So the report also strongly supports India's proposed temporary suspension of the World Trade Organization's TRIPS waiver, which is considered as a necessary step to enable the local manufacture of vaccines in developing countries, but it's being resisted by some advanced economy. So in recent times, whenever you read an economy article, you cannot exclude such aspects like vaccine manufacturing. Very, very important. Economy these days is always analyzed on the pretext of the COVID pandemic. So make sure that when you give answers for the mains, you have some relevant points related to COVID, which could substantiate your analysis on economy. So towards the last para, you can see various efforts that are required to build resilience, which can be delivered through public investment. So make sure that you read it on your own. So in the data point, the article is related to the telecom sector, something we have already discussed in our editorial. Telecom sector on the mend. The redefinition of the adjusted gross revenue to exclude non-telecom revenue and a 4-year moratorium on dues may provide a breather to the struggling telecom giants. So you need not mug up all the statistics that is given in this article, but you should have a fairer understanding regarding the recent trends in the telecom sector and government initiatives, including the 4-year moratorium. In addition to that, there are some concepts, some basic economy concepts mentioned in this article, including duopoly, monopoly, and oligopoly. So make sure that you have a bare minimum understanding of economic concepts like oligopoly, duopoly, monopoly, and perfect competition, because these are very frequently appearing terms in newspapers. So moving on to the editorial from the New Indian Express. Biodiversity loss threatens human health. We not only deny ourselves the aesthetic pleasure of enjoying nature's beauty in its splendid array of diverse life forms, but also imperil our own well-being. An article related to environment. So this article mentions lots of points which you can very well use it for your GS mains or essay, especially in articles, especially in questions related to environment for your essay. This article is in fact a treasure house. So take note of all the points mentioned in this article. So the article says that a report in 2018 estimated that while humans constitute only 0.01% of all living beings by mass, we have caused the loss of 83% of all wild animals and half of plants on earth. What a starking reality. 0.01% by mass has caused so much destruction to the environment. So this article brings out what are the serious impacts of excessive human intervention on environment. This includes we have deprived ourselves of many nutrient-rich foods, we cannot benefit from medicinal plants, and we have in fact speed up the climate change by contributing to global warming. We are becoming more vulnerable to natural disasters. In addition to that, destruction to biodiversity and environment has serious impacts not just on our physical well-being, but our mental health is also affected. Mental health too will suffer as we lose our connect with the healing powers of our planet's amazing biodiversity. Then the article mentions that as part of the shrinking biodiversity, in Asia, the varieties of cultivated rice have fallen to just a few dozen from several thousand. A very important point. Even the crop diversity is being rapidly affected as a result of excessive human interventions. Then the article also mentions about deteriorating soil health and soil nutrients. Then deforestation strips the planet's protective green cover against global warming. Scientists estimate that nature-based solutions can provide up to 37% of the carbon dioxide mitigation needed to counter global warming and contain the rise of Earth temperature below a 2% limit. So very, very important. Take note of all such relevant statistics. It will definitely enhance the quality of your mains answers. The article also mentions about habitat loss, excessive pesticide use, and how excessive interference has affected several species to be endangered. Biodiversity builds resilience against natural disasters like flood and storms. You know, natural disasters are happening globally at an alarming rate. Every day in newspaper, you can read some cyclones, some flood, some earthquake or tsunami happening at least in a minor scale in any one of the country. So this can be attributed to the excessive human interference. The article also says about loss of over 35% of Earth's mangrove forests. Very, very important. Mangrove forests are a favorite area of UPSC. So you should be able to find out the importance of mangroves as far as environmental conservation is considered. The article also mentions about the increased spread of zoonotic infections globally. We have discussed about the recent Nipah issue in Kerala. So the article also says that deforestation also leads to the increased spread of zoonotic infections. Very, very important. Don't forget the recent Nipah issue in Kerala. Medicine has greatly benefited from several plant and animal-derived products, several antibiotics, anti-malarials, anti-cancer drugs, and anti-inflammatory medicines. So all these were in some form or the other derived from nature, but now massive environmental destruction has hampered all such prospects. So read this article very well because it will definitely help you in answering many questions related to environment, biodiversity or climate change. That's all for today. Thank you for watching Editorial Pointers.